Hello everyone, glad to be back with you here once again. Remember our reflection? The redemptive blood of Jesus Christ cannot forgive and cover our sin until we discover the mess we are in. And what a mess I've been in as I've been sharing my story. You remember we left off where I had actually went to the pulpit under the influence of cocaine. And then I went on, finished up school a few months later. Bay City Bible Institute. And you're probably wondering, how did I do that? I did it by cheating the whole way through and carried so much guilt and shame around that drove me even deeper into my addiction, particularly after I finished up in June. And it was all bad. I went all the way back to lying and stealing and drug dealing and using and abusing on a daily basis. And I remember my woman, she caught another case and ended up in prison, and she was pregnant. And I had to go pick up our baby. I never forget it. It was myself and two of my homeboys who've been long dead. We drove down to Chowchilla Women's State Prison a couple days after my wife had our son. And I picked him up and drove back to B-Town. And I still was going strong, dealing drugs. And lo and behold, I had left the house. And while I was gone, the police came and raided the house. And they took everybody to jail except for Bobby and Diane, who was caring for our little baby. And it was nothing but the grace of God. And I came back, got my baby, they left. And a few days later, the landlord came and said, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. There's rumors that you're dealing drugs out of this apartment. Those were true rumors, as you already know. And I didn't realize that in this process, I was close to the end of my active addiction. So I took my baby somewhere safe and went to San Francisco to detox. And in detox is where I met a gentleman who had been in a program called Salvation Army in San Jose. The parole officer made him come back to San Francisco County because he didn't tell him that he was leaving the county, and he threatened to violate him. He came back to the county. Within a month, he was hooked again, and in that detox, I believe, for me, because God spoke through him. I had been searching for programs while I was in detox and couldn't find one suitable for me because I was still full of myself. And then he mentioned Salvation Army, and I said, there's one next door here. He said, not that one. I said, well, I go back over the bridge to the one in Oakland. He said, no, you need to go to San Jose, to that program. It's the best. And I remember hearing the still small voice of God saying, you know, your best thinking got you here. Why don't you listen to me when you listen to him? And so I did that. And I made my way to San Jose, got to Salvation Army. There was a waiting list, got on the waiting list, and began to wait for them to call my name. I'm going to leave you there. We'll pick up later. There was still some more drama coming on, but I was getting close to my deliverance. I was getting a little closer to being into the solution and no longer living in the problem. I remember King David and what he said in Psalms 20, verse 7. Some trust in chariots, some in horses, but I remember the name of the Lord. For years, I had acted as if I was trusting in God, but I was trusting in everything else. And who knew it wouldn't be long before I would experience internal transformation rather than external conformity. Until next time, be blessed.